Welcome to Keep Me Upbeat, where I'll be discussing the social and personal connections to our being because our value matters. So we need to talk about those things that define us, those things that needs to praise us, helping you discover new concepts to help you develop. And I promise this is going to be educative, informative, and interesting. You wouldn't want to miss any of our episodes. And if you do, you can always come back for a replay. It's all for free. Just please subscribe to this channel and help share among your loved ones. And also follow us on our Instagram page. Keep me updated. Are you ready for today's episode? Let's ride. My name is Tony. On today's episode, I'll be discussing connecting with gods. What is guts? Guts is that audacity, courage, confidence, commitment in building up achievement for goals, success, and objectives. And we don't understand how powerful we are within of ourselves till clarity comes from self-reflection. According to Bob Nadelli, while referencing the challenges of entrepreneurship, he said, I've come to the realization that the majority are not interested in the efforts they are making. That's why they complain of fruitlessness. This felt so direct to me. It was the subtleness in it for me. It struck me so hard that I asked myself, could this have been the reason I felt I messed up? Could this have been the reason I felt so worthless? Could this have been the reason I felt I'm useless? Or could this have been the reason why I feel nobody needs my solutions? When you stop investing interest in whatever you're doing, you don't get viable results. You don't get that freedom that exists to live in. All you always get is frustration because instead of investing interest, you employed pressure, thinking when you make things harden, you will get that productivity in expectations. It's logical knowing to be interested in effort making, but does it make the stance of firmness? So, what are the ways to connecting with these forces in order to achieve what you presume in expectations? So, while self-reflecting, there, these there were 5 points I got clarity from, and ever since has helped me grow. It has helped me be consistent. It has allowed my development stay in check. The first is vulnerability. How do you see your vulnerability? How do you define your vulnerability? Do you see your vulnerability as that force that messes you up? Do you see your vulnerability as something that pulls you down? Do you see your weakness as that spot, that space of negativity? Let me help you out. Weakness, vulnerability is not what messes you up. What messes you up is you living in your subconscious for far too long. When you live in your subconscious for far too long, you will feel so alone. You feel so lonely. You feel like the world is against you because you are idolizing your ego. You are fantasizing your idea. You feel like everything you have is the best. Every other person's opinion, suggestions, advice, methods are not worth it. So you need to start appreciating your vulnerability because that's your clarity. This is what makes you understand the freedom in being strong. Not being strong in pain, but being strong in freedom. Knowing how to build up strength again. Think of a business without challenges.
How would you think competition matters? Because you are content with what you are getting. There is no complaints. But because there are challenges in business, you need to make research into the market competition to know what your competitors are doing that had made their customers stop with them, that is making their business boom, that is making them fold in sales because you want to strategize for yours. So those challenges are your vulnerability. And you cannot set yourself apart from yourself. This is you. Your weakness is a part of you. It's all about you. So when you are not familiar with your vulnerability, you allow people to define it for you. Those who don't even know anything about you. Because you are the only person who understands yourself and knows a lot about you. So why not get closer to your vulnerability? Understand your weakness. Understand this clarity is showing to you. They say when you fall, you rise again. But when you fall and you don't rise, it means you are still living in your subconscious. It's not the fault of your vulnerability. It's not your vulnerability now. It's you living in your subconscious, idolizing your ego, that you are too big to rise up again. That's that's the definition you're giving to yourself, that you are too big to rise up again. You are too big to start up again. That because you fail so many times, you cannot try again. How then will you know if by rising up this time is you championing in that effort? So you need to appreciate your vulnerability. I now appreciate my weakness because it has helped me know how to build up my strength again. It has helped me to know that I don't need to give up. I just have to stay strong and consistent. I have to stay strong in seeking help, in taking mentorships, taking trainings, learning from people who have done it before me and I'm making huge progress. I need to do things collaboratively. I need to allow people to impact me because there are people I have to impact too. So when you think long term, you want to understand a whole lot of things about yourself. But because you don't know anything about yourself, you see your weakness as a negativity in your life. Some people even make this reference: who cares to know about their vulnerability? And you want people now to use it against me. No, nobody is going to use your vulnerability against you. You are the only person that can give anyone that that pattern, that method to be against you. And I feel like for anyone being against you, you have already been against yourself in the first instance. So try to appreciate your weakness, appreciate your vulnerability. This is what gives you clarity. It makes you understand a whole lot of things about yourself. It makes you feel free, like a bird. You know to improve. You want to keep your progress in check. You don't just want to fantasize glory, start talking about dreams. You don't want to be a dreamer for life. You don't want to live in a mirage. You need some reality. You need that reality to live your existence. And to do that is for you appreciating your vulnerability, appreciating your weakness. Because when you appreciate your weakness, you know how to help others. Secondly, making your interest work. How can you make your interest work for your efforts? Interest incorporates commitment into making effort achieve those goals for you. So interest and commitment, they work together. They are together. So they submerge themselves into effort so that you can get results. You can get at least 50% of your expectations. Because interest solves a whole lot of things in decision making. But the inability to make yourself work for productivity is what developed that seclusion of you in procrastination. And I don't think anybody enjoys that luxury. I've never seen anybody coming out so bold and say, I enjoy the luxury of procrastination. I think that would be the most dumbest thing I will ever hear if such person comes out. Because procrastination does nothing for you. It just makes you fruitless. It makes you worthless. It makes everything you are useless. It doesn't matter if you're a genius. It doesn't matter if everything you have in ideas, you have in implementations are best, as long as it's not yielding anything, it's not making any impact, it makes it worthless. So that luxury, it's not enjoyable for anyone. Even those who eat themselves in that box, put themselves in that corner, they don't enjoy it. So why do what you don't enjoy? So you need to make your interest work. That's why you need to invest capability in your interest. You need to know how much your interest is capable of. Don't do things because others are doing it. And when you want to do things because others are doing it, try to check if you are capable to doing it. Either mentally, emotionally, physically, it, it does matter. Because when it comes to achieving results, when it comes to productivity, everything matters. You need to check out for yourself in all areas. Because if you don't, you might fall into regret the rest of your life. And that's another luxury nobody wants to enjoy. I don't enjoy it. I've never felt regretful in my life. Even the times I made mistake, I've never said I regret anything. I learn from them and I rise up from them. So make interest a religion you practice. Make it your consistency. A soldier going to a war takes several trainings to fight. But does these several trainings assume they will win? No. It takes dedication to triumph. So if you want to win, think to yourself, how am I going to make myself work in all of this? How am I going to champion out of this effort? How am I going to be productive? I need to be productive. I need to do what is appropriate. I need to do what is balanced and check for me. I don't want to do things because others are doing it. I want to do things because I enjoy doing it, because I love doing it, because I take interest in it, and I believe in my interest. So it's about dedication. It's about what's my capability? What am I in need for? What are my expectations? What do I tend to achieve? What are my goals? So you need to make your interest work for your efforts. It's very, very important. Interest is not pressure, but the influx to express yourself. Interest is not pressure, it's that inflow to express yourself freedomly. Because when you have freedom, you are able to express yourself, you are able to live yourself, you are able to live that experience. You live the experience and you experience the living. That's how to make your interest work. You're listening to Keep Me Off It with Tony Allen. There's obsession and method. Obsession is preoccupying one's mind with a belief, an idea into a doctrine. Some practice it as an influence of expression. But how can you survive pressure and pains? How can you feel comfortable in difficulties? I feel like anyone who is obsessed is not in their right state of mind because obsession gets you no good results. It's not the appropriacy for you. It's not convenient. It makes you uncomfortable naturally. I feel anyone who is obsessed are not being true with themselves. They are pretending. They are pretentious. They are only creating a facade that everything is okay when nothing is okay with them. You can't feel comfortable in difficulties. Obsession is like living in your subconscious for far too long. You don't want to leave that position, yet you cry of not progressing. You know what to do, but because you can't live without that position, you can't live without that spot you are in, you can't live without that force behind you living in your subconscious, you remain stagnant. Then you pretend to the world like you have problems. That's what obsessive people does. Rather than taking obsession as a practice or as a belief, choose to structure method for your life. When you structure method for your life, you know when to take a break. You know how many hours a day you have capabilities to work, to be productive, to do something. You have hours to relax. You know how to relax so that you don't relapse. I feel like obsessive people, they fantasize about life instead of living life. It's a simple logic. Why would you be living in life and still fantasize it? I don't get. You are to live life and impact through it. You are not to fantasize life. Allow yourself feel freedom. Allow yourself expose to allow yourself that exposure to freedom. Don't put yourself in a box. Don't think about yourself as being worthless. You've done your path. Keep track of your progress while living life. You don't have to be too serious about everything. You just need to know how to be smart about things in your life so you don't lose the track of yourself. And by doing that, it's not you being obsessed, it's by you living freedom, creating a method for yourself. Okay, this is my method of how I've structured things to work for me. This is my method of how I've structured myself to work for things. This is how my environment revolves around me. This is how I evolve around my environment. I'm not secluding in difficulties. I'm not pretending to the world in order to prove a point or impress them. You don't have to impress anyone. Do what works for you. Ensure you make yourself work for yourself. You don't need to impress anyone. When you love yourself collectively, people embrace you. People are interested in how you take interest in yourself. When people see you are not interested in yourself, it's difficult for them to show an interest because they feel like you have a problem, you have an issue, you're not in the right state of mind. They can see through your interest. That's why connecting with yourself is very, very important. You need to create methods, not by obsession, but by creating a structure on how you must work for things and how things must work for you. Obsession is not a luxury to enjoy. Obsession is not an apartment for you to live in. Obsession is not a sensibility to take duty upon. You need to take charge of your life by being smart, through living freedom, through experiencing freedom, the freedom to speak, freedom to live, freedom to relax, freedom to work smart, freedom to collaborate, freedom to be happy. But when you are obsessed, you don't even know if you are happy. You don't even know your interest in anything. All you know is you can't do without this thing. You can't live without it. Quit that subconscious living. Your subconsciousness is not meant for you to live in. Don't take an apartment in there. Even if it's for free, try to reject it. Don't live in your subconscious. You don't lose, you gave up. Someone said, anyone who chooses not to live or experience life loses. What about someone who gave up just because moments in their lives didn't work? Are they both the same? Are they both losers? For me, they are both losers because it's the same problem they are having. One is not experiencing life. What's the reason? And one is giving up on life because of moments that didn't work. It's the same thing. So it might be for the same reason why someone is not experiencing life, why they are obsessed with that idea. So today, I know vividly that you don't lose, you only gave up. And neither should you lose or give up. In order to connect with your gods, you must take every negativity out of your mind, out of your heart, and out of your head. Don't think by the impressions you want yourself to be to people. No. Think by what are my capabilities? What am I responsible for? What are my duties in this diligence? You need to take patterns. You need to take charge of yourself. You don't have to set apart yourself from yourself, because heaven helps those who help themselves. When a man loses everything, he says to himself, where do I start from? And you tell that person to be hopeful. Upon what should he be hopeful on or for? It's common sense, and we must learn to have it. We must learn to use it, and we must learn to be responsible for it. To connect with your God, you must know not to lose on life. You must know not to give up on life. You must experience life. Whatever life throws at you, make use of it. If life throws you failure, turn it into success. If life throws you lemon, turn it into lemonade. If life throws you difficulties, turn it into freedom. Because whatever life throws at you is the answer you need to build on. But it's for those who are smart that can catch up with this idea, these ideals. Whatever life throws at you is what you need to make use of. When you don't have the opportunity of life throwing anything at you, I feel that you are non-existent in life. But as long as you are in life, life will throw something at you. But what are you making use of it on? Are you gonna stall at it, or just going to keep wandering? So everybody builds up from nothing. So I was watching an Al Jazeera interview with Aliko Dangote, where this group of African youth had to interview him. And the first question they asked was, how did he manage to be one of the successful and powerful African businessmen? Although he said he was from a wealthy family, but everything he is today, he built from scratch. From him borrowing his first capital for his first business from his uncle, to associating with like minds who later became his friends, who are businessmen, who he learned from, and he built up on it. So, majority of us says, because I'm not from a wealthy home, it's gonna be difficult. No, even if you're from a wealthy home and you don't have that financial intelligence, you won't even know how to build anything. And everybody builds everything from scratch. Even if your father has everything, you have your own choices. You build them from ground up. So everybody builds up from nothing. And our nothing starts from what we have in our brain. That's how you know who is smart. Like, most of these great men, they were not from wealthy homes. And the ones from wealthy homes, they learned how to build from nothing. They know how to build even if they had a penny tomorrow. So the issues we have with ourselves is we don't want to start where we are. We don't want to start with what we have. We want riches in a boom state. We want wealth in a very clumsy way. a way whereby you cannot even defend. We love shortcuts. And that's not how being great, that's not how being successful is. You don't have to leverage on incompetence to wanting to be celebrated. Learn and train yourself to be competent and build from ground up. Don't be scared to start all over. You will fail as many times, and sometimes it might not be that way. But if it happens, don't fail yourself. Build up again. These are all evident you are connecting with your gods. I'll leave you with this. Strike the match without burning yourself. I hope you enjoyed today's episode on Keep Me Off It. You can always have a replay of this episode and every other one on this channel. And please don't forget to subscribe and share among your loved ones. And also follow us on our Instagram page, Keep Me Off It. Let's continue the conversation in the comment section. Until I come your way next time, have a fabulous moment.